What's up, guys? What of course you'll be seeing today is a breakdown and review of the scout rifle in Destiny called Wolves Leash 2. There is of course a Wolves Leash 1 from the Queen, but it doesn't contain an element unlike the number 2 versions. And the only way you can get Wolves Leash 2 is by beating the Prison of Elders level 35 version and beating the main boss Skolas. It's random, however, so you're not guaranteed to get the drop, and there are other weapons that you can get instead, so you're sort of competing for this one weapon. In addition to that, all Wolves Leash 2s have a random element attached. You can get Void, Solar, or Arc, of course. In my case, I happen to get Solar. The gun itself starts with the max 365 base damage and does not need to be further upgraded, which is nice. The fire rate's 52%, the impact 35, the range is 52, stability is 43, and a reload is 61, which is pretty good, so it's well balanced, and the magazine size is 17. In my case, I happen to get the Solar element. The weapon actually compares to Vision of Confluence. That would be the comparison that anyone, I think, logistically would draw because it's a nice scout rifle balanced. They have similarities, but the main difference is the Wolves Leash 2 happens to have a faster fire rate but lesser impact per shot. The perks, which I'll get to, will differentiate the two weapons apart from the higher fire rate, lower impact per shot compared to Vision of Confluence. In terms of PvP damage output, the weapon hits for 29 on body shots and 43 on headshots. With regard to the skill tree, all Wolves Leash 2s are the same, with the exception of course, the random element assigned and the last perk, which I'll get to. You have 3 clear options in terms of sight. The Fast Draw IS, which increases stability and lowers reload speed. The Red Dot OAS, which does not offer significant increase in any particular stat, but is my favorite just based on the fact that I'm very used to red dot sights. You can slap it on any weapon and I should be fine with it. And I'm sure most people feel the same. And the Focus Lens FLA5, which is designed for longer range and buffs range as a result. And like I said, I go with the red dot sight because I'm so familiar with it. And it's very easy for me to just slap it on and go. With regard to breaking down the skill tree further, the first perk of note is called Triple Tap, which will return one round to the magazine after rapidly landing 3 precision shots. This perk comes in great handy against larger, more bullet-spongy bosses that will need many shots to kill. Otherwise, it isn't too useful, especially in the Crucible. The next 3 perks, which you'll have a choice over, are Snapshot, which of course allows you to aim the weapon much faster. Custom Optics, which increases the zoom, don't use this. And Perfect Balance, which dramatically buffs the stability of the weapon. My choice is Perfect Balance because of the obvious plus of adding stability for a faster fire rate scout rifle, but also because, like I said earlier, the 2 perks before this are kind of lackluster. This is sort of the obvious choice. The last perk is also random. It could put additional damage on any fallen enemies, from dregs to shanks to captains. In my case, I happen to get one of the least desired ones called Dreg Burn, which increases damage to dregs, of course, fallen dregs. But there's not a lot of utility, considering most of them are 1 or 2 shots anyway without this perk, and like they're not really viable threats. So obviously, Vandal or Captain Burn would probably be your best bets. With regard to my overall impressions in PvE, it's a very good weapon overall. Like I said, it offers the lower damage per shot but faster fire rate model of scout rifles, but it still deals a pretty decent amount of damage per shot, and it can be put into nearly any form of content in PvE the game will offer, and you should be fine with it. It's a medium to longer range machine, but even with the faster fire rate and the stability buff, can excel in short range in non-endgame content as well. It will absolutely crush Nightfalls and Prison of Elders content, where the element of the weapon is the burn. And it will obliterate enemies where the shield matches your burn as well. So example, if you're facing the Void, or if you're facing the Vex and you happen to have a Void element, it will be quite fine in crushing just about everything, or Arc with Fallen. I do have some concerns with the weapon though, not everything is perfect. The perks, other than perhaps Triple Tap and the stability upgrades, are not very helpful to you at all. Many of them are very situational, or pretty much you'll overlook and won't even consider using them at all. The last perk will be very useful if you happen to land, like I said earlier, Vandal or Captain Burn in addition to Arc. Otherwise, the weapon will be dramatically outperformed by Vision of Confluence and perhaps other scout rifles with a better perk loadout, since you can just re-roll them at the gunsmith. In PvP, similar to PvE, you'll want to stay in medium to longer range encounters with this weapon. Closer range will get you killed. Don't go in close range, switch to your shotgun. It has a pretty good damage model and great stability, so using it in medium range and you will add up kills, that I can promise. Overall, the weapon's damage model and rate of fire make it a good weapon overall, and it's especially good in PvE. It won't be a weapon that holds you back or gets you killed very often in firefights, but the utility in PvE will depend on the element and the last perk you get for endgame content. If you happen to get one with Arc and Vandal or Captain Burn, it will be a Prison of Elders killer. If you land the loadout I happen to have gotten, you pretty much are better sticking with Vision of Confluence. So, to sum up, very good overall damage model. It can excel in just about anything, but the perks will determine whether you're going to bring this or, say, Vision of Confluence into endgame content. Have a good one.